Hello everyone, I'm gonna do a quick video because otherwise people don't watch the long video. So also, if there is no video and no update, just read my tweets, because whatever I share on Twitter, sometimes I don't explain the reasons publicly, but the information is still there, my forecast is still there. I don't mislead people in terms of forecasting. So if you're needing an update, Twitter is the first place of information, really. So I posted this yesterday. I highlighted this liquidity pocket here and it bounced off exactly from there. Will yesterday hold as a top or will today make a top? It's very difficult to tell because we have different cycles. Today the whole day is packed, the whole first half of the day, the 19th of September, is packed with bull events. But two of the big ones are already gone. That was Mercury trine Uranus and Mercury trine Pluto. Those are gone and the price didn't manage to rise despite those Super Bowl aspects, which is telling us that this cycle is held in quite strong. What cycle is this? This is the eclipse cycle. But not every month the eclipse cycle is so strong. In some other months, when I have relied on this cycle to give me a pivot, it has let me down. So there was not, it was impossible in the beginning of the month for me to say the eclipse cycle top is the 18th and therefore that will be, that will be the monthly top. I did highlight it. I highlighted all the cycles in the first video of September, but also we had another top. We had the Mercury top here on the 12th of September. That was a very important cycle as well. So how would I know which cycle will be stronger in the beginning of the month? There was no way to know that. So the best I could do is just highlight the pivots that belong to the main cycles in the month. And from there on, we play level by level. It held here for 3 days and then it started going up to manifest the other cycle. So today, I don't know today how it will close because we have 83% historical probability given by Venus entering Virgo. The first day of Venus on Virgo is closing on red with 83% historical probability. But on the other hand, we have 0 degree of declination of Mercury today, which is super bullish, so that is keeping the price up. So anyway, it's not really that important knowing the daily closures, especially when they have those conflicting cycles. Tomorrow is looking red, the 20th of September. Okay, so this is the eclipse cycle top, the 18th of September. I highlighted it from video 1 for September and it seems to be holding for now. And then the Chinese cycle top is the 19th of September today. I think I highlighted that one in video 1 of September as well. Struggling to achieve that today because despite all of these bull aspects in the first half of the day, so now we have some projections here given by the total lunar eclipse. Why do we take that seriously? We take it seriously because it was a total lunar eclipse. The total eclipses are always taken more seriously than the partial ones. So this is projecting now that we're heading down for a couple of days, and then we're heading up for a couple of days, and then we're heading down to make a bottom between 29th of September to 2nd of October. That's the projection given to us by the total lunar eclipse. Keep that in mind because very soon I'm going to show you 2-3 more projections. So that's the projection from the total lunar eclipse. Down from now, then up until the 25th and then down again until 29th to make a bottom around 29th of September to 2nd of October. Did I show you the bottom on the Chinese? On the Chinese, the bottom is the 4th of October on the Chinese cycles. A couple of days later. This one is not projecting a bottom at the moment. Oh, actually, let me scroll up and see if the eclipse cycle is projecting a bottom. Okay, yes it is. So the eclipse cycle is projecting a bottom 29th or 30th of September. That's the bottom projected by the eclipse cycle. I have taken a fractal of that. And here it is. This is showing 1st of October bottom. This fractal is just one day different, and there is a reason which would be too long to explain. Okay, so this fractal highlighted the 18th of September top, and it gives us the trend line from now for the rest of the week, for the rest of September. Okay. So remember that the Chinese said 4th of October, slightly a couple of days later. And then remember the total lunar eclipse projected between 29th of September and 2nd of October, so that's a lovely confluence. And then the Mercury synodic cycle is saying slightly different. It's saying that the bottom will be 22nd of September, right? So do you remember the visual a minute ago? That was already forecasted there by the total lunar eclipse, that we'll get a 22nd of September bottom. Here it is, between 21st and 23rd of September, and suddenly the Mercury synodic cycle is confluencing that. Right? And then the Mercury synodic cycle is saying then after 22nd of September we're going up. So that is the Mercury synodic cycle. But the lunar eclipse cycle is saying we go up only until the 25th of September, and then we go down to make another bottom. So they're slightly different. And then we look for some more cycles to see what they got to say. And I really like the Ekadashi cycle, because the Ekadashi cycle has been bullish. The Ekadashi cycle has been accurate for a number of occasions in the past, and I kind of trust it. So look at that, it highlighted 18th of September as a top, then 22nd of September as a bottom, lovely confluence to the total lunar eclipse projection, and lovely confluence to the solar eclipse projection, 22nd of September bottom. And then it's saying up until the 26th of September, so that is one day later. If you remember the total lunar eclipse that I showed you a minute ago, that showed 25th of September. And then it says 30th of September bottom. So this is almost the same as the total lunar eclipse. Lovely confluence. And then we have another cycle, very important, which is taking place on 21st of September, and that is saying that after this event we're going up. So this is a very different cycle now, kind of throwing a bit of a spanner in the works, because it's still very important. I mean, this is Sun-Saturn synodic cycle. This one is saying straight up after the 21st of September. So what we do in that case, when we have 3 cycles projecting this trend line, and we have one cycle disagreeing with it, what we're doing then is we make the decision to follow this trend line, observe this trend line, and then if we see deviations to the upside, we will know where those are coming from. We will know that those are coming from this cycle, from the Sun opposition Saturn. This aspect is so nasty, the Sun opposition Saturn, that it's very natural that after the aspect we get a relief bounce after that. right? So we may end up making a bottom a bit sooner instead of the 22nd. What the other aspects were forecasting, where they were saying 22nd, this one may end up being the bottom because it's a very nasty aspect. But because the eclipse cycle has been very accurate for the past 2 months, in August, it nailed the top in August on the 14th of August. I can show you eclipse cycle. Here it is. Look at that. It nailed 14th of July, just minus couple of days. It was supposed to be on that level, and it came just a couple of days earlier. And then look at that, 14th of August, almost to the day. The previous occasion was the 25th of August top, and this time it was the 14th of August. Really nailed it. So that is why I use the eclipse cycle fractal to give me a guidance of the trend line. So if the Sun has Saturn's synodic cycle there, wants to jump ahead and go up without following this trend line, all we can do is just keep that in mind, that it is possible, so when it happens we're not surprised and we know where that is coming from. Okay, so let me go back to those cycles. Here it is, 22nd of September bottom, 26th of September local top, and 30th of September local bottom. Oh, actually the bottom before the parabolic moves. But this one is saying, oh no, after the event we're heading up for 20 days. You see, I'm not taking a cross section. I'm not taking an average performance, historical average performance, because that's 50-50. So I cannot use that. What I'm using is the last time we had the most similar degrees, when Sun was in Virgo and when Saturn was in Pisces, and that has happened in 2024 when we had that the last time. And the last time that event was followed by 20 days of up moves. Right? So this cycle is saying this trend line may be cut short. We may do a shortcut and head up from here, straight up. That's what the cycle is saying. I don't know what will happen. I don't get visions about the future. I can only go by what the cycles are saying. Okay, and then the equinox cycle, which is arriving on the 22nd of September, that is saying that we have 79% probability of closing on a red. Sorry, 79% probability of the trend before to be a downtrend, which is forecasting that 21st of September will be a red day, right? 21st of September will be a red day. Yeah, possible. This one is saying 57% green, but that's a very small probability. So that's quite possible here, according to the equinox, because this percentage is higher, 79%. And then the equinox is also projecting, oh, no, the equinox is on the same side as the eclipse cycle. It is projecting a few days to the upside, and then a few days to the downside, and only then the parabolic moves. So we have now 3 cycles on the same side as this trend line so far, and we have only 1 cycle so far saying that we can do a shortcut. Oh, actually no, we have 2 cycles that are saying we can do a shortcut. It's the Sun opposition Saturn, and also the Mercury synodic cycle is also saying that we can do a shortcut. So we have 2 cycles on that side. And then we have Mars, that is happening tomorrow actually, the Mars-Saturn quincunx, the 150-degree aspect. That is saying 67% probability of the trend before to be a downtrend, meaning that today will be closing on a red. That is confirmed by Venus entering Virgo. We have 83% probability that the day when Venus enters Virgo today will close on a red. So that's a second confirmation for that. And then for the trend after, it's telling a 71% historical probability that the trend after will be down for a few days. These are all local trends. Okay, so that again, this cycle again, is on the side of we making a local bottom around the 21st, 22nd. Several cycles are saying that now, except this cycle, except the Sun-Saturn cycle, which is saying that we go straight up after this event. And all of these are serious cycles. You know, I cannot say this cycle is more important than that cycle. Mars cycles are heavy. They tend to impact the market properly. And then this cycle is very heavy as well. Sun opposition Saturn, that's not a joke. So after this cycle, after this aspect, we can expect some relief. It will be a nasty day on the 21st. So yes, I remain with there are several other cycles that are either supporting this trend line. They're either supporting this trend line, or they're saying a shortcut. We make a shortcut from the 22nd and we start going up from the 22nd. Which actually this cycle is saying the same. But this cycle is saying we head up from the 24th, we go up, whereas the previous cycles are saying we go up from 21st to 22nd. So there is a slight difference. And the difference then between them is that 3 cycles are saying we make another local bear reversal to make a bottom around the 1st of October. Whereas that Sun-Saturn opposition is saying, no, we just keep heading up from there. So we stay on this trend line. I'm keeping this fractal for my reference because I trust the eclipse cycles. And then if we see deviation from this to the upside, we know where it's coming from. And just wanted to show you, there are millions of these and I have backtested them. This month is very intense. Millions of aspects are taking place between slow planets. I wanted to show you Venus in Virgo results, and then I'm gonna wrap up this video. I'll do another video in another couple of days to cover those aspects. So Venus in zodiac signs, Venus is entering Virgo today, later on today. And she's projecting that the first week will be closing on a green. Does that make sense according to the eclipse cycles? 28. Well, it will. What I do agree with that projection is that we're going to have a dump and pump in the coming week. I do agree with that trend line. Dump and pump. But to go as far as to say the 26th of September will be closing higher than 19th of September, I mean, we're quite high right now. This is on the top of the VWAP, and that 26 will be closing higher than the 19. That's quite of a big statement. And it's also not in agreement with the other cycles. All the other cycles are saying that around 22nd of September we're making a bottom. 21st, 22nd we're making a bottom. So how is it possible that after that we will close 26th of September higher the 19th of September. That is a quite big pump. But anyway, this is what is forecasted by Venus, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm not gonna cover the rest of them. The video is already way too long. Mars is entering Scorpio on the 22nd. I'll present these results in a couple of days. It's way too much information now to hold in our heads at the same time. So this is the fractal. If you want to have access to my fractal, to my trading view chart, drop me a DM and I'll send you the link to my chart. So if you want to follow this, have a lovely day, everyone, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye for now.